When the final whistle blew, it read like a headline that refuses to lie down. Arsenal had matched Manchester City in territory, in pressure and in ambition. And Mikel Arteta was left scrolling through messages from people who could hardly believe what they just watched. Critics had spent the week asking why he started certain players, questioning whether his exit was balanced or simply risky, and the pundits' barbs landed fast. A one-trick pony, handbrake on, the familiar talk that follows a team whose approach challenges received wisdom. But the picture on the pitch told a different story. From the goalkeeper who plays as an extra attacker, through centre-backs who stepped into midfield, to wing-backs and forwards who pressed as a single organism, Arsenal presented as a deliberately aggressive, cohesive unit that refused to cede psychological ground. That intention mattered more than a tactical label. It forced City to react, to reset, to respect angles they normally dominate. The half-time tinkering that followed only deepened the narrative. A substitution that looked like a gamble became the spark for a late, decisive sequence. Bringing fresh legs and a different tempo shifted the balance in the middle of the park, pulling City out of their rhythm and creating pockets where Arsenal could exploit space. It was not just one player's moment, it was a structural correction. The kind of decision that separates managers who manage moments from managers who manage a club's identity. And the message was loud. We will adapt, we will take calculated risks, and we will use our attacking personnel to shape the match rather than merely respond to it. Outside the stadium, the reaction was visceral. Coaches, executives, and rivals who trade in tactical nuance sent messages not because they were surprised Arsenal had fluked a point, but because they'd witnessed a coherent blueprint that can be repeated. That's important. Football conversation often reduces performance to isolated stats, set pieces, XG, touches in the box, but what stunned these observers was the way Arsenal's choices amplified one another. Goalkeeper involvement creating build-up, centre-backs stepping into midfield to create overloads. Midfielders and forwards calibrated to attack spaces City normally neutralises. For many in the game, that kind of orchestration is rarer than headlines suggest. Pundits will have their sound bites, fans will keep shouting about selection, but the bigger story is the ripple effect. A single match like this shifts perception. It forces opposing managers to consider different plans when they come to the Emirates. It forces the sports pages to talk about more than form and wonder whether Arsenal's model can sustain pressure across a long campaign. And for Arteta, the afternoon served two functions at once. It was a defence against critics who asked why certain players weren't starting, and it was an offensive statement about identity. If you build a team around attacking intent from the back up, you accept short-term risk in favour of structural consistency that can win over months, not just minutes. There's also a human element here. Players absorb confidence when a coach backs a philosophy that asks them to be brave. A team that believes in taking the initiative, even against champions, will grow in ways that aren't captured by a single match report. The texts from coaching peers and club bosses aren't performative. They're shorthand for recognition that what was on display is replicable and dangerous. For the title race, that matters. For pundits who shouted he won trick after reduced highlights, it's a reminder that football's breadth of tactics cannot be captured in a line or a clip. Context matters, the substitutions, the tactical read, the player's discipline, and the willingness to risk. So what should viewers take away? First, that Arteta's choices were not panicked, they were purposeful. Second, that a single match can alter a narrative if the performance is coherent and the structure is visible to those who know the game. And finally, that the conversation about Arsenal just changed. It may not end doubters, but it widens the circle of people who now have to account for this Arsenal when they plan and predict. The fallout has begun, and whether you call it audacity or strategy, football just got a new chapter. Managers texting managers, pundits rewriting takes, and a team that has quietly declared will not be pigeonholed. The question now is simple. Can they make this a season-long sentence, or was this one powerful paragraph?